Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Fat Man Buddha, back with another one. And today's gonna be short. It's gonna be the shortest thing ever because honestly, I'm tired of talking about the topic. I'm tired of um everyone there. It's been a good 50 years of explaining to people how uh we are not black. We are Native American, Aboriginal American, however you want to say it. We are not Moors. Not all of us are Moors. Moors come from a foreign land, like dead for real. Moors come from a foreign land. There Moors come to us through trade. Moors. I'm not going to say that Moors have no origins somewhere here, but to say that throughout the thousands of different tribes that are here in the Americas, well, in North America. If you put together the entire America, there's no telling how many tribes there are, how many different languages there are. So I'm not finna go deep into this. I'm just gonna do a quick video to go ahead, get this over with. Y'all see I got my flag up. Yeah, yeah. Geechee. Again, and we gonna talk about the Geechees. Uh, we gonna talk about the Geechees because, like I said, too many tribes here in America. We already know that they never took a slave from Africa. They all came from the Caribbean. For those of you who do not know, a Geechee is just a Haitian mixed with either Arawak or Iroquois. That's all. To be a Geechee, you have to be either Haitian or Jamaican. You have to be mixed with either Arawak or Iroquois. That's all. I I hopefully I have Arawak blood in me rather than Iroquois. Don't ask me why Arawak's my preference, but uh, it's just gonna be a real short video. Now, why am I making this video? Because, like I said, I really want to move the conversation forward. Being a world African historian, I'm not gonna sit here and constantly have conversations that we had some 50 years ago. Dead for real. We talked about the whole subject of uh, us populating the world, us um, either coming to this land by ourselves or already being on this land. Um, we've talked about how they look, the descriptions, um, and bruh, it goes on. But what I think is really lacking is um, the connection. You know, the language, the sign language, the dances, the culture itself. Because to be a nation, like say the Crip Nation, if you are part of the Crip Nation, then you can talk like a Crip, you walk like a Crip, you dance like a Crip, you do sign language, which they call stacking, and uh, you have your own math system. Those are the 5 of the 7 things that you need to be known as a full nation. I was trying to find, and I'm going to go back and look for it as soon as I can, but I was trying to find out, I was trying to find a video where the news reporters always referred to the Bloods and the Crips as a nation. You know, you have GD, Folk Nation. They don't say gang, they say nation. Crips never used to call themselves a gang. They will always call themselves a nation. The Bloods never called themselves a gang. They always called themselves a nation. They, like I said, they had a language. Because if you're a Crip, you don't use the letter B. If you're a Blood, you don't use the letter C. They have a math system. They have a hierarchy, being either Billy Gangster or King David or the Great Tookie Williams. They have sign language, which, like I said before, it's stacking. It's you feel me? I'm about to show you in the video. It's stacking, and they have cultural festivals or holidays, holidays, and it goes. There's Tukey Day. There is OG Turtle Day. There is Snoo Day. You know what I'm saying? The list goes on. They have a certain way that they pray. If you don't know Crips prayer, then you don't know what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. All 7 things that consist of a nation, and the Crips, the Bloods, and the Folks had 5 of it. Because you have to have a deity. And even though they look up to Billy Gangster, OG Turtle, Tookie Williams, they don't worship these people. They just admire them. And you must have a system of medicine. You must have a system of medicine. So they were 2 steps away from becoming a nation because they already had the language, they already had the math system, they already had the sign language, they already had the cultural dress and the way you welcome each other, and they also had the I just said it. I can't believe. See, this is how tired I am of going over this because we should be well past all this. The whole discussion of, I mean, I look on YouTube and I still see people having a conversation about whether the pyramids were built by my people. And we should be past that. We should be uh, looking into why is it that there are pyramids all over the world? Why is it that pyramids are coordinated with each star in the sky? We should be well past the conversation of before white people. We should be well past that. We should be 50 years past the conversation of before white people. And frankly, I don't care. Because, like I said, we're moving forward, we're progressing, we have to. And it is my hope that by doing this, we move the conversation forward. Because I'm tired of sitting here smoking blunts, debating with myself about some stuff that should have 1,000 people talking to me about this stuff. Let's talk about how the pyramids are constructed for nuclear fusion. Let's talk about how the damn hieroglyphs are math and the language was a pictograph of numbers, and we constructed a language off of that. Let's talk about the fact that there's an underground tunnel from South America to South Africa, and it still exists to this day. Let's like something like damn. If to all the young people, because I'm like in my 30s, I'm in my early 30s now. To all the young people who are stuck with this same conversation of before white people, if you're gonna have that conversation about before white people, skip over the pyramids. The whole thing about before white people is everything that is ancient is ours. So let's just skip that. Everything that is ancient is ours. The Bible, ours. The pyramids, ours. Down the mountains, ours. Land, ours. Water, ours. Let's have a conversation about where the fuck these white people come from. Let's let's have that conversation because no one knows. You can sit here and say that they showed up out of skin disease called albinism. You can sit here and say that they showed up because of a plague called leprosy. Bottom line is like these crackers just dropped out of the sky. And where, nigga? Seriously, where, when, how, what for, and why? Why is it that we were the first target? You know, there's some people that speculate that white people are nothing more than a genetic experiment gone wrong, which I can see. You know, they are homunculus chimeras. We used to be great alchemists back in the days. And no, you did not have to be a Moor to be an alchemist. That's for a whole nother conversation. The whole Moor deception. And I don't have nothing against Moors. You feel me? I really have nothing against the Moors. My greatest teachers were Moors. Kamba Kamini, even though he doesn't say that much, he identifies as a Moor. Hakeem Bey. Hakeem Bey was the whole reason why I used to be so heavy into the Moorish movement until I gained more knowledge. Taj Tadic. Taj Tadic is the greatest law minister that the Moors will ever have. That's how I feel about it. Um, then you have even Yosef bin Yakinen. Yosef bin Yakinen, he once identified as a Moor. So don't take it as me just being against the Moors. Take it as I'm Geechee, and I can trace my lineage all the way back to when the Moors first landed here in 1493. Message. And I'm not talking about Guala Geechee. I'm talking about I am Cucamonga Geechee. I am Cucamonga Geechee of the Cree Nation in Florida. Okay. Why do I have this flag? It's because the Geechees got me here. Like I said, to be a Geechee, you must be you must have the blood of either Haitian or Jamaican mixed with the blood of either Arawak or Iroquois. That's just it. And no one can refute that shit. And to all the elders of the Geechee nation, come sit down. I promise I will be respectful. I just want to smoke a blunt first. Come sit down. There's no problem at all. Getting back to this whole thing about moving the conversation forward. See, that whole Geechee, a lot of people don't know what this flag is. A lot of people don't know who the Geechees are. A lot of people don't know anything past we were here before white people and we built the pyramids. There are pyramids in South America. How come we're not talking about that? There are pyramids in the Grand Canyon. We're not talking about that. There are pyramids in Montana. There are pyramids in Mississippi. There are pyramids in Georgia. There's a pyramid in Louisiana. So this whole narrative of they took us from Africa needs to stop. The whole thing. How come all the Kemetan, Egyptian, and Ta-Nehisian, meaning Nubian, how come all their gods have feathers in their heart, in their heads? How come if you really look at the crown of the pharaoh, it looks exactly like a chief's headdress. People, how come my aunt looks like she's a Native American? Have Has anyone ever heard the song King Tut, and how King Tut really came from Arizona, and he got on the Rio Grande, went out past Florida, because there's a river that cuts Florida in half. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm born and raised there. I drove up and down Florida plenty of times. There is a river that cuts Florida in half. That's where you get all them damn swamps from. It goes out into the ocean and goes straight into the Black Sea and goes straight to Egypt. King Tut was born in Arizona and moved to Babylonia. So I want to push this conversation forward. I do. And the only way for me to push this conversation forward is to just throw it out there. But it's certain things, certain wavelengths that I need to get all of you on before that can happen. And one of those wavelengths is we need to stop arguing about before white people. We need to seriously stop arguing about before white people. We need to stop arguing with these $5 Indian children that has been had all their lineage paid for, back for the Dow's roll. We need to stop arguing with all these so-called higher educated white people. Homunculus chimera. I'm going to refer to white people as homunculus chimera from now on, because until somebody can prove to me that they are not genetic experiments, that's what they are. They are genetic experiments that we created in the Temple of the Moon down in Monomotapa, South America. And take it for what you want. I don't care. We need to stop arguing, most importantly, amongst ourselves. If you're a Pan-African, fine. You're a Pan-African. I don't care. This conversation is not to start arguments. This conversation is to push the conscious conversation as a whole forward. Because if you're still sitting here talking about how our people built the pyramids, and it's been damn near 100 years now, because that conversation started all the way back in the 1920s. Well, damn, it's been 100 years now. But I'm talking about for us as a people nationwide, it's been almost 100 years. So say 1950, 1960, we started talking. Yeah, 1960. 1960, us as a nationwide body started the conversation of we built the pyramids, and the homunculus chimeras, almost slipped up, and the homunculus chimeras had nothing to do with it. Not one thing. Not one thing. Listen, please help me, because I don't want to write a book. I want to write a book. I'm writing a book right now, but as far as history goes, I feel like you can't write about something dead and expect it to be alive. You have to actually have the conversation about something that is dead for it to continue to live. You understand? You notice how Jesus has been alive this long, but he's been dead some 3,000 years. That's because people continuously talk. You see how people die in your family, but it feels like they're alive because They talk because you and your people talk about the family member that passed. Because conversation, words have power. Words have the power of life. And there is no greater example than how we keep Jesus alive with simply the power of life, words. You understand? So I want to push this whole conversation forward because we need to just move forward. We need to. It's too many people talking about how to get our reparations. It's too many people talking about how to organize. It's too many people talking about how we can overcome this system. For you to still be here talking about, well, maybe we built the pyramids and maybe we are the Native Americans and maybe this and maybe. If you don't believe it, stay over there with the homunculus chimeras. That's fine. I'm not here to convince you of anything, but if you're not even going to take the time out to look up what I'm talking about rather than sit here and spend more energy arguing about what I'm talking about instead of just looking it up for yourself, then hey, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not here for that. I'm here to help move this conversation forward. I'm here to get high, get money, and move this conversation forward. Because we've been stagnated for too damn long, no damn reason. We really have, like, niggas, like we really have, and it's just time, man. So, today we are going to look at none other than the relationship between the Native Americans back then and the Native Americans now. I was trying to find hood calls. You know how people like, "Shoo, cut rip," all that. What up, Folkville? All that. But apparently, the internet has everything but real culture on the Crip Nation, Blood Nation, Folk Nation. They have all the stupid stuff, but they don't have the true culture. So, Crip Nation, Blood Nation, Folk Nation, man, y'all holler at me, man, because I need something that can. I need people who actually live a tribal life to come out and present tribal culture so I can show in relation to our ancient culture that nothing's really changed. Nothing's really changed other than the fact that there are a bunch of $5 Indians that, you know what I'm saying? And to all you $5 Indians, they have so much to say whenever we say that we are the Native Americans. Write out a petition to the Smithsonian, to the Smith, to the Smith, to the Myth. Write out a petition to the Smithsonian Museum saying that you need a piece of hair, or matter of fact, just say that you need an authentic headpiece of a chief from your tribe. Then take your hair and take one of our hair and do a DNA test, whatever tribe it is, because it makes no sense that Cristobal Colbell, or Christopher Columbus, as you all know him, wrote to the Queen of Spain and said that these folks in the Americas look the exact same as the folks in Africa. There is no reason why all these Germans who came over here to do reconnaissance for the invasion, and they all said the same thing. These people have short, crisp hair. These people are bronze, tall, thin, very muscular. Some have fat faces. Some have uh, long hair that seems as though it was cropped together. To all you $5 pale face Indians, and there are a lot of you. There are a lot of you. Over 98% of you are nothing more than $5 Indians. And you know it. That's why you'll never take a real blood test. You will never take a real blood test. Never. Because you're already losing everything. I mean, think about it. They're not going to honor any peace treaty because you're not really the people they had the peace treaty with. Let's just be honest about that. Like, it's bad enough that they're not honoring the damn peace treaty with the with anybody, really. But we know they're not going to honor a peace treaty with you because you're not the real natives. Do you know the culture? Yes. Do you know the language? Yes. But you have to understand what a Freemason is. A Freemason is just a custodian of culture. In other words, you keep it alive until the real ones get here. And now that the real ones are about to come get here, no one wants to give up. That's why it's going to be funny, because it's going to be the Freemasons versus the Freemasons. And that's a whole nother, like I said, I got videos lined up forever and a day. Forever and a day, I got videos lined up. That shit dead, man. Like I said, I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm here to move this whole conversation forward. And if we're not going to move the conversation forward, please exit this motherfucking room. Because, come on, man. Ain't y'all tired of running around in a circle saying we built this and we built that and we did this? Either kill them or conquer them. But you can't keep going around in circles saying we. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this video popping. It's gonna be real short. It's gonna show how the native dance is similar to the Crip and Blood walk. It's also going to show the sign language that